guys, welcome to another video. Today we're reviewing Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. This film came out in 1991 and of course stars Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Now before we start, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you can notify for every video. Let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. Unfortunately, there is no good about this film. Now let's move on to the bad. So the opening sequence for this film is horrible. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't even feel like a good opening sequence for a Nightmare on Elm Street. Maybe you would expect, sort of maybe a cool dream sequence or Freddy Krueger attacking someone who turns out to be a main character throughout the film. No, it's a terrible opening sequence and definitely one of the worst opening sequences for a Nightmare on Elm Street film. The acting is horrible. The acting is horrendous. I don't know what they were thinking with this film. The characters are boring. They're not given enough character development for you to actually understand and like the characters. They're just characters in a disposable horror film. The soundtrack. Now, this is one of the biggest flaws about this film. The soundtrack does not fit the tone of the film at all. It has this rock music, or heavy metal. I don't know what kind of music it is, but it's sort of like rock heavy metal throughout this entire film, and it doesn't fit the tone of the film at all. I don't understand why they would put that for the first time in a Nightmare on Elm Street film when the other films in the franchise have had that creepy theme, creepy score. The Nightmare on Elm Street score. There is, I believe, a little bit of it, but that heavy metal rock songs that they played during this film did not fit the tone at all. The sequences in this film, a lot of them do not flow well in the film. It sort of cuts to different sequences as you get in the second act of the film, and I didn't think that they worked all that well together. The cinematography is terrible. The shots, the camera angles, nothing unique. It's just a standard horror film, but worse than some of the usual horror films from the 90s. It does not look good at all. Freddy. Here's the thing about Freddy Krueger. I like Freddy Krueger to be scary and menacing. He might have a few jokes here and there, but mainly for him to be scary and menacing. In this film, he's just making jokes every second, and it just makes the creepiness factor of Freddy just go very, very low, and you're not scared of him anymore because he's making all these jokes. The film also, so visually, this film is definitely nowhere near a visually appealing or visually stunning film. Visually, it does not look good. There is one sequence in this film that looks horrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And then, when you compare it to other Nightmare on Elm Street films, the older ones look much, much better than this one. The original Halloween looks much, much better than this film. So I just thought the look of it looked awful. The final battle of this film is extremely long. It's unnecessarily long. It doesn't deliver any good character moments, so why would you make it extremely long? Is it just because you wanted to have a good enough runtime for the film? You didn't want the film to be too short, so you just made that final battle in the third act of the film longer? I don't know what the decision for that was, but it does not work because you are left bored throughout many sequences within this film. And that final act should be a very, very fun final act. It's Freddy Krueger. It should be entertaining, but it's not. It's very long, and I was bored throughout that entire third act of this film. And the ending sequence is terrible. I did not like the ending sequence. It's just a boring ending sequence. It was terrible. I did not like the ending sequence at all. And that's about it. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare is a terrible horror film. It's definitely one of the worst horror films that I've ever seen, and I do not recommend this film at all. And I'm going to give Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare an F. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe with the post notification bell so you can be notified for every video. I'm Peter. Thank you for watching.